Let's move into our next big story, and this concerns you and I, our stomachs. Nigeria, which is Africa's most populous nation and largest economy, is facing a serious threat of food insecurity and malnutrition, and that could impact millions of its citizens this year. According to the World Bank's latest food security report, 7 states across the northwest and northeast regions are projected to be at crisis food security levels in 2024. The states include Borno, Adamawa, Kaduna, Katsina, Yobe, Sokoto, and Zamfara. Now, these regions have been severely affected by persistent insecurity and armed conflict, disrupting farming activities and also livelihoods.
Now, areas such as Bandam, Bama, Guza, Mala, and Marti are expected to experience emergency food security levels due to limited household food stock and access to market and humanitarian aid. And currently, these areas already suffer from a large-scale humanitarian crisis with 8.3 million people in need of assistance. So without immediate action, the number of people suffering from acute malnutrition in the affected states will increase. And so to discuss this pressing issue and explore potential solutions, we're joined by Seun Akinwa, an agripreneur and farmer. Well, Seun, thank you so much for coming on, and we appreciate you for doing this with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's start with, to just sort of capture the current situation that we find ourselves. What are the main contributing factors, to the current food insecurity crisis that we're seeing in Nigeria, particularly in the northwest and even northeast Nigeria?
I will first say thanks for this opportunity to be on your station. Regarding the food crisis, the food situation, it is expected. If you consider so many factors, the variables, insecurity, then one of the major factors we'll talk about is the government, the will of the government to curb certain issues. They wouldn't tell us that they didn't know that we're going to have, that is, produce glitch in certain areas of the country. The main reason why we take data, we take inventory of every stock is for us to know where there will be issues and to find a way to curb the situation. Our proactive nature, or the way we react to crisis in this country, is something to be addressed. So I think it's one of the major factors. Then we talk about outbreak of diseases, pests, although those are still negligible, so to say. Let us first come to terms with one reality. Nigeria is not just responsible for, that is the Nigerian farmers. We are not just responsible for the supply of produce to only Nigeria. Let's have that at the back of our minds. Most of our produce, let's say a large chunk of our produce, is going to other countries in West Africa. And one major contributory factor to that is our currency is falling. And if we check, you discover that we're encapsulated by CFA fund spending countries. Definitely, we have lesser supply here. Every farmer I know will want to sell his produce in such a way whereby we maximize its profit. So let me leave that at that.
Okay.
Now.
Well, thank you very much, Seun.
Yeah.
Now, given the ongoing security challenges that we have, which you also mentioned, and the disruption in farming activities, what immediate actions do you think the government can do to help stem these issues?
It's unfortunate importation, because you can't have tomato, for instance. There's a duration where you can get tomato from seed to mature or ripened fruits. So it's not something where you can just snap your finger and shazam, you have products. No, when there is, presently we have a deficit. Farmers have what they call, where there's undersupply. We can't cater for the masses presently, because first and foremost, the little we have to supply, we have domestic consumers. Now, the domestic consumers, the reason why prices are skyrocketing.
Okay. All right, Seun, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have to take a break on this conversation because we need to bring the sports and news. And
Only
then when we come
solution.
back, we're going... Oh, he's still on there, unfortunately. Welcome back. Still our big story as we discuss food insecurity, and we have with us from before Seun Akinwa, who's a farmer, and we were talking about the situation in Nigeria. Now, Seun, if you're still there with us, would like to ask you this question regarding the farming template in Nigeria. How can the government help or aid individuals to absolutely take this on as their occupation? For instance, there's something called family farming, if I'm not mistaken. How can they be aided by the government?
Yeah, first and foremost, I would like to say, ever since the creation of this country, this contraption, Nigeria, farmers have never had it this good. Saying farmers are concerned by this insecurity will mean we're having a very wrong perception. I'd like to disabuse you of that because we're really enjoying it, seriously. And that doesn't, I don't want to appear cynical, but it's about the business. And why is it so? Because the demand outweighs the supply. If you want to, how will I ameliorate or make these things less, the effect of this food crisis less severe, government, they need to be more serious. Seriously, because we talk about farmers participating, household participating in farming. Yes, it's a good proposal, but how realistic is it? That's a question we ask ourselves. How many individuals? Yeah, we have urban farming, fine, yeah, but the question is it really tenable? Let's say individuals say Breakfast Xtra, for instance. Yes, the buildings. How I just don't see it as something that is very, very realistic. Yeah, well, say maybe the sub-rural area or areas whereby there is enough room to do it, fine. But the question now is, are they going to be able to cater with a little space, be able to cater for every other thing they need? So whenever we come up with proposal, let us be realistic. The other time, Mr. Mokri, yeah, someone I really, really respect anyway, was making certain suggestions, certain proposals. You get corn, you feed your layer corn, you get egg. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way at all. If you continue to feed, yeah.
Seun, then what works then? Because we're pressed for time, right?
Yeah,
in adopting strategies, and to find a lasting solution, to this issue. Because when we think about it, millions are at stake, children are at stake, and malnutrition, acute malnutrition is on the horizon. What is a lasting solution?
The lasting solution is for government to take seriously the smallholders. When I mean smallholder, I'm talking about the small farmers. They are the one to cater for the major domestic supplies.
How can they do that?
Big farmers. Yeah. For instance, let me give you my environment, for instance. I would be very, very wrong, and it would be unfair to the government by saying, oh, the federal government hasn't shown interest in supporting farmers. No, they've been doing it. As a matter of fact, because from the information I have, they've been spending millions and billions to support the farmers. But it does not get to where it's supposed to get to. It never has, and it has never been effective. In the sense that when there is a particular grant, it goes to these big farmers. And the big farmers don't really, most of them, they have where they supply their goods. ShopRite, eateries, exports, and the likes. It is only the smallholders. Because when they factor the cost of moving, the logistics of moving their products to a distant area, maybe to Benin Republic, Cameroon, Cotonou, they discover that logistics will be quite expensive. Okay, they take it to the nearby farmers. But the government is not focused. That is one. Then two, what is our hunger response? This thing didn't start yesterday. For instance, let's say there's a case of malignancy. Someone has a sign of maybe cancer. It's at the stage, beyond the stage 2, the stage 3, that before it becomes malignant. When you have signs that, okay, those that planted, okay, the nursery, how many of those things has moved from the seed rate to seedling rate? If there's enough data, one government will now be able to make prediction and find a way to to support and to ameliorate, that is to prevent the effects, to cushion the effects. But the government is not doing that. And I will also say something. The ministries that handle these things, they are one of the most corrupt in Nigeria, because I know them very well.
All right.
Well, now, when there's a grant, let me explain. When there's a grant, say, okay, for instance, there's a particular World Bank grant. They'll say, okay, this grant wants to support, say, maybe 10,000 farmers. Instead of meeting these small 10,000 small farmers, they are going to meet a big boy having like 100 or 1,000 acres. And you now say, okay, those acres is going to represent the 10,000 farmers. Now, when this guy gets this money, he's going to use it for his major export, and then they don't get to pay it back because he's selling the product not to the immediate market.
So you're alleging cases of racketeering in the system.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
It happens a lot. All right, so we have your statement saying that this happens a lot, and this would hamper growth when it comes to small farming. Well, Seun, I hate to end this conversation. I do hope that we can continue this another time, but Seun, many thanks for coming on. And that's Seun Akinwa. He is a farmer, agripreneur, and was talking to us about addressing food insecurity as it impacts food in Nigeria. Food prices in Nigeria, as reports are now saying that acute malnutrition is on its way.